Hello there, folks. This is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you back. It's December 30th, and I'll get into the homebound part. And I know I'm sounding pretty good, don't I? Um, once you get something done you've been really intending to, I'm back from my surgery. I'll get into that more of detail a little later. I have a recording of me coming out of uh, anesthesia about a half hour after that, after surgery. I got about a minute of that. But I've been receiving a lot of posts from people and responses on my Facebook page, hoping me for a quick recovery. The biggest thing right now is just running the drain from my neck. It looks like everything went well, but while I was doing that, a friend of mine, Mike Amoroso in Philadelphia, uh, he g- really good friend, a nice, great guy. I worked with him in catering over 20 years ago in a place called Rosewood Caterers, and there's tons of stories with that place right there. I can go into them in the future, but right now I want to say I wish Mike was in the hospital for 27 days with a blood clot in his lungs due to COVID-19. And I just found out this morning. I got a message from him. One of the nicest guys I've ever met, an avid. Oh, sorry for that. An avid golfer, and much loved in the. He's a graduate of Father Judge High School. That was a rival of my high school, Archbishop Ryan High School. But I got a lot of friends from Father Judge, and he's a very active alumnus, and he has a lot of friends in Northeast Philadelphia. Avid golfer, likes to ski too. We had a lot of fun on ski trips. And Mike is being discharged today. That's the best thing I ever heard. I'm getting information from him that he was in a hospital for 27 days with a clot in his lungs, and I hear from him today. Uh, I know I wish I could have reached out to him before, but I don't know how much help I would have been because I was all anxious. I got real selfish about my thing. But Mike was in there for 27 days. And I know there's people that have been in there longer, but that's pretty long for here. And I'm sure there's a lot of people up in his neck of the woods that are waiting patiently for him to be released. And hopefully we can get Mike down here to Key Largo. And I think he has vacation coming up in March. That's what he said to me. And I told him he's welcome to stay with us. So, with us. And I'm not much of a golfer. And matter of fact, people get turned off, I think, to my golf skills. But I don't want to ruin it for him. It could ruin golf for you, Mike, if you ever listen to this episode. But here's you wishing you a great home recovery, and it was great hearing from you. And I also have my friend Jim Feely, and I apologize to him. I didn't call him back. He sent me a nice message, and I was waiting about all the had a lot of cancellations of this surgery, and it was surreal since moving on to it that I haven't had a surgery since I was 50 years. 50 years it's been since I was 7 years old when I had some operation done on removal of my adenoids. I didn't have my tonsils removed, and I had drains put in my ear. I always had drain problems. I spoke to my father last week, and he told me years ago, and people, I know most of you know it, that whenever someone had throat infections, constant throat infections, they would just do the thing about removing the tonsils. And nowadays they don't do it as often. So what happened, I'm going to probably I'll go up to the point. I'll describe what happened real quick. I don't want to bore you guys with all this stuff. But we're in Key Largo. The time for the start of the surgery was originally scheduled for 4:30, and then I got a call on the 22nd, and they said 3 o'clock, which was better. I like to be a little earlier, and so they wanted me up at 1, but then a couple days later, they called me and said it was back to 4:30, and so, the night before they had me not eat. After 12, not drink any liquids, no water. Now, it's a standard thing for everyone. So I loaded up on these some pasta and things like that, just as much as I could. Almost try to drink a lot of water, and got myself. They have this cleansing regimen where you have to use this special soap. Make sure you remove all the stuff that I'm not going to go over that with you, but remove all jewelry, not putting on any antiperspirant or any lotions you might use, any hair product. So I got to the hospital, and it's surreal going down there because you get to the hospital and there's no one in the area I went to, because in Miami, I went to Baptist Maine, Miami. It's a huge hospital here in Miami. Great bunch of people. I work for Baptist, but they are very helpful people. But they're loaded with COVID patients, like many of the big cities in the United States right now. So they're doing their surgeries, almost all their surgeries, in a different region of the hospital. So they're optimizing. I had to go to their cardio and vascular unit and went in there, and there was one other person in a 25, 30 seat pre-registration area or registration area when we got there. And then when we got into this was pre-registration, and then we went to where you're waiting to go into pre-op. We went up there, and it was probably 30%, which they said it wasn't as busy as it normally was, but it's still big. It's as big as any one I've seen in a Philadelphia hospital, and it's very nice. They had a lot of everyone was very professional, very nice when they're working there. So we're sitting around, not knowing what to do. You give you a pink sheet, tell you what they're going on. There wasn't as much paperwork as I thought there would be. I signed my name like 4 or 5 times, sent up to the room, gave me a rose-colored piece of paper with my name on it, and the doctor and the surgery, and then they took me to the pre-op area, and he sat in there for a couple hours. So I think they brought me in around 3 o'clock. I sat in there about three hours, and I was one of the last people in the pre-op area at the time. I don't think there was anybody. There may have been some other people in there, but I was one of the last surgeries of the day. That's when I really got anxious. Abby was with me, and she was nervous, and I was speculating. I was saying, hey, listen, after I'm done, if you don't have to, I wasn't concerned about, it's weird. Okay, this is trying to put this in perspective. I wasn't concerned about the surgery. I was concerned about the surgery, meaning it happening at all. So when 4:30, what happened is you can never tell how long certain surgeries take. As people are getting fractures fixed, having heard a gentleman next to me. I'm not giving away information, but he was having a gallstone surgically removed, and I mean, there's a bunch of different operating rooms, but you don't know how long the previous one's going to take, and then they got to sanitize it and get it ready and prep it for the next one. So I'm waiting. And I'm waiting for the doctor. And I've never had, it's been 50 years, and I'm sure things have changed. 50 years is like, the technology had to incredibly change. And my blood pressure's elevated and all this stuff because I'm worrying about it being canceled. It's stuck in my head. That is the main thing that's bothered me. And as soon as they start wheeling me out, I start relaxing even before they give me this. What they do is they give you the cocktail to calm you down before they give you the gas. So once I start getting wheeled out, I start relaxing. Holy crap. That was like when I know they're wheeling me and they're not taking me to the front. Once they started administering, I'm relaxed. I'm ready to do it. Let's get this done. I know I'm going to be out. So I go into the room, where, this, the ER, and not the ER, the operating room, OR. And there's 3 attendants. I tell people, started talking to me. I'm getting a little loopy because I got the whatever cocktail they gave me of anesthesia, and they're very upbeat in there. Gosh, they're having a good time. It's a couple days after Christmas, New Year's Eve's rolling around and stuff like that. Very nice group of people. They asked me a bunch of questions, asked me things. They checked the mark on the side of my face, so where they're going to cut, so they don't do an accidental cut on the wrong side. Very busy people. And a gentleman for some reason I told him I do a podcast. He goes, "Oh, I got to get on that podcast and stuff like that." Never gave me a name and stuff like that. I don't think I gave him my card and stuff. I did tell him what it was. So if he does contact me at jimmckeysbartender.com, I'd be happy to have them on, and they can tell me what happened during the surgery. Because the funny thing about it, I met the surgeon 25 minutes before the surgery, and that was the last time I saw him. Meaning I know he was there because I have a surgery. But that was it. I went out, and then when they're wheeling me out of the OR, and that's when I'm waking up. And I remember everything coming through the doors. Somewhat. It was kind of cloudy coming up, and the thing I was really concerned about at that point, it was, I think it was around 8:30. I wanted Abby to head on home. So I wanted her to see that I was all right. And they showed me a picture of it, what it was going on. Man, it looked like they took a small scoop, a melon ball scooper, out of behind my jaw. It was all puckered in and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, I guess I'm coming out of effects, but I wasn't really I wasn't really concerned about scarring, because here I am, 57 years old. I had, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to the beauty department, but I guess I'm not that egocentric, so I wasn't good. I am really amazed, though. I will get to you about the results of this. It was good. It was good results. But I slowly come out of the anesthesia, see Abby. They take me up to this post-op area, and they put me right in front of where the nurse's station is. And right now I'm gonna play about a minute of when I'm first able to really talk. Okay, and I promised that I would do it. I did do a podcast from the room, but that was a couple hours after that. This one was, I think I did the first the 8 minutes I did was like 2 o'clock in the morning. This one was much earlier. Here we go. Okay, it's 10 o'clock, 10 after 11 on Monday. Had my surgery. I'm in the recovery room. I'm in my room at this hospital. It went pretty good, I guess. I don't know if they got a pretty big divot out the side of behind my jawline. I hope that fills in a little. But beggars can't be choosers, and I appreciate everything everyone did. Pretty interesting. Boy, they knock you right out with the anesthesia. That was, I went into the OR. They put me something to calm down. Then they gave me a little gas, and I was out. And then I came out 5 minutes after. I'll give you a little update a little later.
feeling a little sore. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, I don't know how well you were able to hear that, but yeah, I was more. I guess that probably sounded more like when I was actively drinking. After I had 4 or 5 drinks, I probably sounded like that normally. Maybe a little louder, but my throat was sore and all that stuff. But that whole night, my after that, it was they have the intravenous in your arm, and they have a circulatory assistance for your legs because they worry about clotting. I guess it's prevention. It was one of the things the insurance companies came up because they never had it before. But I don't think laying in bed for like 12, 13 hours were going to give me a blood clot. Yeah, but I mean, they got to do it for the 0.05% or point of the possibility of someone getting a blood clot going to their heart or lungs. So I sat there, had that on, had the intravenous. So every time, I remember at this point, was 11 o'clock at night. And the first time I had to get up and pee, you're in your surgical gown and your ass is hanging out. You got to hold that. And I got in the front, I got the drain. I got this, the one thing I forgot to tell you, 2 inches below my ear, I have a tube coming out of my neck, and I have a 60 milliliter plastic container, teardrop shaped container with 2 spouts, one with the tube going in and another with a drainage one that we drain every little while to get the fluids out so there's no edemas. I think it's called an edema under the skin or any fluid buildup where the surgery took place. Yeah, it's gross. I know. I'm sorry. But hey, listen, I've been talking about it so long, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it. So, you're coming out of this stuff, your throat's sore. I have to pee. I had to pee 7 times that night. I had to take a piss 7 times. And each time, until the last 2 times, I had to ask a nurse to go pee because I'm hooked up to the intravenous saline solution, and it gave me the, whatever antibiotics. And fortunately, there wasn't a lot of pain or anything like that. I took a couple of Tylenols and things like that. I'm not that tough, but I'm what I don't choose to take pain medication because the one concern I have, and people think, I don't drink, you worry about, was never really a pill guy, so I never have. I know I was so into alcohol and cigarettes that I really never had like a big desire for it, but I didn't want the pain medication in case someday. I've had some back problems in the past where I pulled a muscle and stuff like that, and I realized how painful that could be when I had a sprained ankle and all that stuff. So I didn't want to get used to any pain medication because I want it to be really effective when I need it. And it's a selfish thing. I know. Some people say that the nurse is going to say, listen, you got to do this. You got to tell us if you're in pain. And say, listen, really, it isn't painful. It's like at worst, it got to like a 2 or maybe not even a 3. It's more of a discomfort because you got this freaking thing on your neck and you don't want to do anything to rip it out. Just think like, look, if any of you are sci-fi people and Star Trek The Next Generation fans, think the Borg. The Borg, when they had these tubes coming out, stuff like that. What a weird setup. And for an advanced cyborg, you're going to have these tubes that can just be ripped out like one of those flimsy chain link things that people put on their door. The locks, the chain locks. You think, why do people do it? It's like to say, oh, well, I don't want you to come in my door, but if you apply 5 pounds of pressure, you're going to get in. So, stop one of those weak zombies, maybe. So, I had all that. My biggest concern was that, and I hadn't because my throat's sore and all that. I'm not really hungry. I'm eating ice chips and all that. And I couldn't really sleep. I listened. You heard me do the podcast. Uh, didn't watch a lot of TV because you don't want to do it. You got the thing in your neck. You're getting used to that. Um, Mess around with social media, and that's about it. And then the next day, you start thinking about food. So it was about 35 hours to get some food. And I'll tell you something. If you really want to enjoy, and this was my breakfast, if you really want to enjoy hard-boiled eggs, boiled potatoes, Cheerios, a roll, and jelly, don't eat for 35 hours. And then you really enjoy 2 hard-boiled eggs, 3 boiled potatoes, Cheerios, orange juice, decaf coffee. And you know how I feel about decaf coffee. I mean, even after a while, it's nice getting some decaf coffee when you haven't had coffee for almost 2 days. And, it was almost 2 days because I didn't have, I stopped drinking coffee like the Monday at 11, and this was Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So, yeah, I woke up, had some wonderful people caring for me. The doctor, I don't want to mention the doctor's name and things like that, but I mean, the nurses in the hospital, Vera, yeah, I'm just giving it first names. So Vera was one, Alicia, Natalia, Caroline, and pre-op. Caroline and Natalia, they took me to the operation, and Vera was the night nurse, and Alicia was the day nurse that helped me out at the end. They showed me everything I needed to do, gave me instructions, and I'll tell you, it's funny. It's much like when people warn me about how a 13 and 14-year-old child behaves. People say, oh, how old is your child? 13, 14. Oh, my God, good luck. And I say, well, listen, my daughter's no saint, but she's certainly no devil either. She's a sweetheart. I love her. I like her being a little, rambunctious sometimes, but people exaggerate things, right? My discharge, the only thing, my surgery was done, so I wasn't that, my only concern was Abby and Sky waiting around too long for me when they were picking me up. That was the only concern. I wanted to call them as soon. I would have called them when someone came in, to start the discharge. The representative, the physician's assistant came in to check on me and go over directions on what I should do when I go home. And once that happened, holy crap, I put my clothes on, went to the bathroom. They gave me a bag of stuff. They made sure I had the prescriptions and all that stuff. It moved along so quick. I'm telling you, it was from the time I saw the person representative, the doctor, and they gave me discharge orders to the nurses in the unit. I was in the chair downstairs in about 10 minutes, and I'm ready to get on my phone. I think I'm going to be there like 30, 40 minutes, maybe 3-4 minutes. And then this really nice young woman named Lauren comes out with paper. She has the discharge orders and stuff. I don't even remember if I signed it. It was so easy. And then I grabbed my bag of my toothpaste, my phone, my charger, and my glasses, and anything I needed to take home with me, and walked out the door, and the girls were waiting for me. I was home. That's it. And now I'm home. I know. After all this stuff, there was, after everything, you're thinking, well, it's a tumor, most likely benign. I guess we're going to find that stuff out later. But most likely benign. I think they probably got it in time. And the last pain medication I took last night was Tylenol before I went to bed. And I still feel that, you still feel the drain coming. You can eat. People thought I was going to be able to eat for a while. I'm going to be doing soup and all that stuff. I'm glad we didn't load up on soup because I'm a meat and potatoes guy. and I'm able to eat that stuff. And that's pretty much it. I have to wait a week. I think part of it, uh, I'm just speculating. The only reason there might be a week is because it's falling over New Year's. So, I'm sorry for the gross picture I'm posting, but there's a tube coming out, and every 12 hours I'm dumping it, and I'm logging that stuff. I feel like Howard Hughes with his urine. If you've seen the movie The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, he kept all his urine, keep it stacked up and stuff like that. So I drain the fluid. It's coming out kind of his blood with other stuff in it, and it's less and less every 12 hours, which is good as long as it's draining somewhat, not building up in my body. I am set. That's all I have to do, and follow the antibiotics. So I like to move on now. I'd like to thank everyone who helped out, everyone that wished me well. I am doing. You can tell by the sound of my voice. I think you can tell. That is. I posted a picture. So you see, hey, listen. I'm thinking, I better get some pictures of this. This doctor may have done such a good job. Such a good job. That all this scarring me. No, but I was really surprised. I was really surprised about the scarring. In the beginning, I'm looking at it and I go, wow, it's much worse than I thought. It looked like I was shot behind the jaw line. Like I said, a melon baller took a scoop of flesh out there. And today it's filling in, not being swollen or anything like that, and you could, I don't see any stitches. I didn't ask them how they were going to suture it. So I guess there may be glue or something like that, because they did the cut from my ear down to my neck and all that stuff, maybe 7 inches, but even that, don't see that too much. So all in all, I have to say, I'll ask my doctor next time if I can say his name if he wants to, but did a really, really good job. And I have till Tuesday with this drain in my neck. And hopefully that'll be it. And then I can get some other things taken care of. So, and which aren't as dire as this one was. So, and it's definitely outpatient the other stuff. But I had to get taken care of this stuff before I could take care of the other stuff, because this was the important one, and I wouldn't be able to if I tried to take care of it, it would have put off 3-4 weeks. And I kept on getting dates within 2-3 weeks of each other. So that's it now. We can move on. New Year's Eve is rolling up. We're in the Keys, and I swear to God, we're coming back from the hospital. I'm not talking about the hospital anymore. But when we were going up to the hospital on Monday, it was packed coming in, and it was packed coming back on Tuesday. I had enough wherewithal to remember that we can go down this other road. There's 2 roads in the Keys, and I may piss off the people in Key Largo, but if you don't like standing in traffic and don't mind driving a couple extra miles, there's this road to the left right before you get Overseas Highway called Cardstown Road. And Cardstown Road takes you more of a southeasterly direction, more southeasterly, more east than south. That Route 1 takes you directly into Key Largo proper, and Cardstown Road takes you into north Key Largo, up near the gated community of Ocean Reef. But if you like to be moving along and stuff like that, because either way, the scenery on the rides down the road of Overseas Highway when you leave the mainland is not what it is when you're in the Keys. The scenery when you're in the Keys, that's the part when you're driving, when you get down to Tavernier and Murata and start going over the bridges. That's when you start getting some of the beautiful sights. I guess when you get over the bridge, it was called Jewfish Creek Bridge, at mile marker 109 going down to 107. It's a big bridge. You can see over to the Atlantic, and you can see Blackwater Sound, which goes into Florida Bay, and then the Gulf of Mexico. That uh, I mentioned this before. When you're driving into Key Largo, that is not the place to stop to take pictures, though it looks like it'd be a great place to stop and get pictures because it's only a 2-lane road going into the Keys, and you're going to piss off some people if you try to stop there, and it's very dangerous. Um, yeah, I wish they just put the walls up so people couldn't see it. I know it sucks, but the people passengers because the drivers sometimes it's the infrequent people that stop to take a picture right there. They're just so into it. But there's a bunch of places down in the Keys where you can do that. So we took Cardsound Road, which takes you in a more northeasterly direction into the Keys and takes you to the very top of the key chain. The key chain. Hey, yeah, with a chain of our keys. A lot of people think the beginning when you come off that overseas highway is the beginning. Actually, the beginning is Cardsound Road, and you go down, and then there's about a 10-mile road that takes you right into Key Largo proper, and virtually no traffic. But people are pouring in, even though they're not having any official New Year's Eve or New Year's celebration in Key West. And I think from today to January 3rd, if I'm not correct, there's a 10 p.m. curfew, which I don't see that. I don't see how they're going to be able to enforce that down there with their. I mean, they may have 100 people on there, or maybe 100 people on their police force. I don't know how you're going to enforce a curfew. There's a lot of people, and I understand a lot of them aren't wearing a mask. But I'm not going to get on that. This is the time of year a lot of people are down here. I see them walking around. It's kind of a shitty day today, windy, mid-70s, going up in the upper 70s. It's going to be some nice weather, but the wind is making it hard probably for the people on the water here. But I guess it's a lot better compared to some of the winter storms that are going up north. And I wish them well. And it's nice. I guess it's nice to be outside. And I think most people are being reasonable about, the need to cover up when you go into. And trust me, I could tell by going to a hospital and stuff like that. They're using a cardiovascular institute for their surgeries at Miami. A lot of places down here or other places in the country don't have that. This is a big specialist area in Miami, just like I guess Atlanta and Philly and DC and Baltimore, all the way up to New York City and Boston, where you have those big units where they specialize in that and they don't convert. They have extra beds, and people are foregoing. I guess maybe Miami with all their cosmetic surgery, elective surgery. There's probably where Miami and LA are probably the elective surgery capitals in the United States. So, and you do surgery in an operating room. So if they're not, and they have recovery areas for that. I feel a little like right now with that drain in, like Roy Cohn, the lawyer for that lawyer. If he was a lawyer for on Joe McCarthy's attorney for the House Services House Committee for Un-American Activities, where he did the communist witch hunts, and there was a movie called Citizen Cone with James Woods, and at one point towards the end, he was a closeted homosexual. Not that, and he was he acted homophobic, but he was gay, and he was working for a conservative senator, searching out communists and stuff like that. And part of it, he shows up for a trial after all this happens. I guess it's in the 70s and 80s, when Roy Cohn's getting plastic surgery. He has the drains hanging from his ears and stuff like that. I kind of feel like that. So that's the one reason people don't see me around. I may be doing well, but the only reason I'm not working right now, oh, well, first, it's doctor's orders. Second of all, even if it wasn't doctor's orders, I wouldn't be doing it because I don't think in a restaurant, I'd definitely probably be able to work remotely if I was doing that. Like I'm doing right now. I don't know if you can like to consider that work or not. People say, if it is work, Jim, you're doing a shitty job of that. Well, thank you very much. I'd like to thank everyone, all the listeners. Coming up on New Year's Day, I hope to be doing we're going to have our special guest, Miss Natty May from the United Kingdom, a lovely Scottish woman who is, if you've listened to her before, she works as she's an artist. And I forgot, I want to present it the right way. She works in the adult industry. She's not a dancer or adult entertainer. She's more of a dominatrix, I guess that would be. But she is much. When she's on, it's not. We're not trying to be. We don't do gotcha stuff. I'm not like that. I may say fuck and shit and all that stuff, but there's other shows for more detailed things like that. She's very interesting the way she views the world, and we can get another perspective on sex workers, and in one instance, and what it's like to be in the United Kingdom right now, and we can compare notes and see how she's doing, because it's really tough for a lot of people working in certain industries right now. I think she did this remotely anyway, so this was a new endeavor. She didn't do in-person things, so I think there's actually probably a pretty good market for that. So we'll be looking to doing I don't know if I'm live, I'll probably record it because the internet has been really spotty around here. As I said, I had my Christmas wish. If you please share this episode with your friends. I try not to be a downer. This is the last time I'll talk about anything about that surgery. But, I figure since you're listeners, you want to know. And I'd like to once again thank everyone, all the well-wishers, everyone that helped out, things like that. I'm doing well. You can tell, if you could tell by my demeanor and my voice. I have a little congestion. That's pretty much it. And I'm going to try to get a little stuff done. I got a little business done this early. I've been up in the morning. I'd probably take a nap. It's hard to sleep at night because of minor discomfort. But other than that, I'm doing well. Okay, well, listen. Take care. Goodbye. If you have any questions, please send them to jim@keysbartender.com. Please, once again, share with your friends. Listen to us on all those platforms. We're available on iTunes, Spotify, and it's back to Keys Bartender. That's all you got to look for, Keys Bartender right now. I got rid of the Florida Keys Bartender because I figure you guys are smart enough to know that when I say Keys, it's the Florida Keys. You can hear my voice, and it's not the Keys in someplace else in the world, or in it, because when you talk about going down to Keys, you know what the Keys are, right? So if you don't listen to any episode, I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow. That'll be the New Year's Eve episode, and do a New Year's Day episode. Probably do one on Friday. Oh, and I'd like to send a Happy New Year to Papa Joe, Jenna, Tyler, Damon, Kathy, Paige, all the listeners. I really do appreciate you guys. Who else? I'm going to try to mention people that are doing a podcast. Benny, Donna, the listeners, Calgary, Canada. I want to say special thank you to Calgary. A lot of downloads from Calgary, Washington, D.C., Washington, Virginia, Abington, Philadelphia, Miami, obviously Key Largo, Key West, uh, Brazil, Belgium, Vietnam, the Russian Federation, Poland. I think, I have a couple listeners from different places in Poland, which I think is really interesting. Um, haven't had too many Romanians recently, but L.A., Chicago, New York State, New York City, Boston. Uh, haven't had any listeners from Atlanta for a while, but I'm trying to make a foray in there. I like the Louisiana, and Texas. I don't have a Texas. I guess I'm not the cup of tea on that part. Yeah, I do get Alabama though, and Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi, Connecticut, uh, North Dakota. What else am I missing here? Well, United Kingdom. I think I said United Kingdom, and hopefully we'll get some listeners in United Kingdom when we have Miss Natty May on New Year's Day. And hey, be careful out there. The one thing I did notice, I know I'm dragging this on, is that there was a lot of people. They're not doing any public fireworks or anything because I guess they're trying not to promote big public gatherings. But people have been buying them. They got here the weird laws they have in different states on how you buy fireworks. Like some states are just legal. Otherwise, they get around it by saying it's for agricultural use. And you say, Jim, what's fireworks? What's agricultural use about fireworks? They use it to scare away um, birds and animals that may feed on their crops. That's what they say. You sign it, use it for purely. You're not using it for anything other than. That's why Roman candles, yeah, all that stuff. No, they're made. They're made for people. Uh, they should be made of people, like Soylent Green. If you ever watch that movie, Soylent Green. You see, these fireworks are made from people. No, I guess that wouldn't work. You need fireworks, you need gunpowder and stuff like that. But listen, be careful. Thanks again for listening. Oh, I got a phone call coming in. Talk to you later. Bye.